to the day before. Today will sadly be the last time we will be visiting Chestnut Falls on the day before, because today we are completing our investigation into who killed Charlie McDaniel from Hunt a Killer Class of 98. We just got done unboxing episode 6. Episode 6 is the final episode. So we are going to be finding out today who killed Charlie McDaniel. So if you don't want any spoilers into Hunt a Killer Class of 98 episode 6 yet, let's say you haven't completed it yet, please turn off this video until you are finished with your investigation. So to recap over the Class of 98 case, Charlie was killed after his high school reunion. The sheriff's department couldn't handle the case, so they employed Michelle Gray. She's a woman who was in the same graduating class as Charlie, and she also became a private investigator. So the sheriff called on her to help with the investigation. She has, in turn, reached out to us for some help. So let's get started. Now, we started out with 9 suspects, but now we're down to 2 suspects. Our first suspect is Nita Patel. And our second suspect is Robin Dupree. Now, Nita Patel was Charlie's high school friend and college friend. Nita also knows Charlie's wife intimately. Here is a picture of Charlie's wife, Sarah. Robin Dupree was Charlie's high school girlfriend, and for her, dreams last way too long. For our episode 6 investigation, let's start with the Gray Investigations letter. So with each of the 6 episodes, we've gotten a letter from Michelle Gray explaining some aspects of the episode. First, Gray talks about Charlie's headstone being vandalized, and she sends along an article with another local article for us to check out. So along with the article that speaks about Charlie's headstone being vandalized, Gray reached out to the sheriff's department to see if any previous vandalism incidents had been reported. It turns out there had been. There were several vandalism incidents in the past, and they involved Charlie. Michelle Gray went ahead and sent us the vandalism report from previous years, along with a photo of the vandalism. At the McDaniels, Gray came across a flash drive, and it was password protected. She sent that along to us to see if we couldn't crack the password and check and see what was on the flash drive. Gray also states in her letter that at the reunion, the Class of 98 revisited the time capsules they made at the end of their senior year. Gray sent along items inside of Charlie's time capsule, including a hacky sack, a picture, Charlie's combination lock from his locker in high school, and a time capsule writing activity that Charlie completed. Gray also sent along a pawn shop receipt. If you remember from previous episodes, we were sent a class ring. And let me pull that out. It belonged to Charlie, and it was found in Charlie's car when he was murdered. Here's what the class ring looks like. We were also sent a pawn shop receipt that showed Charlie had pawned his class ring the summer after his first year in college. In Gray's letter, she also indicates that she left some voicemails from Charlie's inbox that could be relevant to the case on Deviant Tracker. She also uploaded screenshots of a suspect's social media page on Deviant Tracker. Now let's go over the evidence according to Michelle Gray's letter and how it's laid out to us in the letter. First, Grace sent us an article about the desecration of Charlie's grave. In the article, it states that beloved husband was scratched out, and it also states that a heart with two horizontal lines through it was also carved into the headstone. This is important because we were sent a letter previously that Robin had written. We were also sent a CD case. And what I noticed on that item, the CD case, is that there is a heart with two lines. Robin made this for Charlie, and as you can see, it's full of Jewel songs. Number 1 is Jewel. Number 6 is Jewel. She was crazy about Jewel and how Jewel related to her and Charlie's relationship. It seems like Robin is the one that desecrated Charlie's grave from previous evidence. The other local articles that were sent along deal with, lawsuit closes Main Street Drugstore and Pharmacy. And so this article basically tells about how the pharmacy is closing down due to Susan Lee's lawsuit that she brought against the pharmacy. It also mentions that Antonio Villar's record shop is closing as well. And on the other side, it tells of Gavin Nash being arrested for drugging his classmate, which was Charlie, during the high school reunion. So this, both sides of this just explain some of the things that are wrapping up previous storylines with former suspects who we've already eliminated. So regarding Charlie's vandalized headstone, which clearly it was Robin who had done this, Gray checked to see if there were other vandalism incidents in the past and came across a vandalism report involving Charlie, and she sent some items along to us. She sent along the report and a picture. So the vandalism took place in 2009, and it involved Charlie's car being spray painted. The words we'll see soon and you. So here's a picture of the car that was vandalized, and it shows we'll see. And so I'm assuming that soon and you were on the other car doors, right? So I thought that meant we'll see you soon, but then I was also thinking, and the words to a Jewel song is soon you will see, and it's one of the songs that was on that CD that Robin had made for Charlie. So now I'm thinking that it was Robin who had vandalized Charlie's car right here with some of the words to a Jewel song. And so on the second page of this vandalism report, there are related incidents, which is like red spray paint at the Grove across tree trunks that would say dreams last so long, and red spray paint in the Chestnut Falls High School parking lot that says even after you're gone. And this was after 10 years of Robin and Charlie graduating from high school. But it's clearly Robin because these are also lyrics to a Jewel song. So it just looks like Robin is very, very suspicious. She's still obsessed with Charlie several years after high school. So how creepy is that? So also, Grace sent along a flash drive to us that was locked, and that was mentioned in her letter. And she found it in the she found this in the back of a desk drawer at Charlie's house. And she also sent along some items that were in the time capsule that Charlie opened. She sent a picture and a hacky sack because they were called the Hacky Pack, him and his group of friends. And she also sent this lock from his locker and this time capsule sheet. Okay, and this time capsule sheet is where Charlie filled that part out in high school, and he filled this part out in during the high school reunion. So, basically, we need to unlock the flash drive. We need to unlock this lock right here. And we have this time capsule worksheet. The picture and the hacky sack were just items that were in the time capsule. So, if you look on this sheet, under what are your biggest goals, from the high school section, it says, find a new password that isn't my birthday. So, we know his birthday from his obituary, unfortunately. And so let's try his birthday on the lock first. Oh, wow, it worked. Okay, so here's a little spoiler alert. His birthday works on the flash drive too. It works on this. So, on the flash drive, what I found were notes from Charlie. And he was taking these notes because he believed that his wife was cheating on him. And basically he waffles back and forth. Sometimes he thinks that she is not cheating. You know, it's all in his head. And then other times he thinks that she's cheating. And eventually he comes across some text messages on her phone. And on the flash drive, there's also pictures of the cell phone too. And they're from N to his wife Sarah. And there is some coded messages that I have deciphered. And what I use to decipher these, because these are between Sarah and Nita Patel. What I used was the bus ticket and the coded message on that. And that's from a previous box. And I also used some of the coded messages from a previous text to Sarah from N. And as you can see, here's some of the coded messages. And here's where I had deciphered them. So I used the codes that were used on these text messages and this bus ticket. And I also used Deviant Tracker to decipher these texts. And I'll read them for you now. Okay? So it says, are you up? No. Yes. And here's where the coded messages start. Room booked for Friday evening. I've missed you. And then Sarah says, can't go a week without me, can you? Shush. Just be there, Nita says. Count on it. Next, we have text messages that says, I'll be in town next week for work. Oh, thank God. Wait, blank. Maggie has a school thing next weekend. I have to make her costume. And then there's coded messages that says, bring the supplies by my room and I'll help. The story I'm covering should be a breeze. And that's really telling you that that's Nita because she is a journalist. We can watch terrible daytime television and have a cheeky drink or three. Then Sarah says to Nita, you're a dream. And Nita says, love you too. Maybe Nita loves Sarah a little bit more than Sarah loves Nita. And here are some more text messages. Well, that sucked. Careful. Fine, Nita says. Seeing you and Charlie together. Then Sarah says, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Running into you was a complete accident. And Nita says, I know, but I don't want to feel like that ever again. Sarah says, we'll figure this out. Nita says, I'm buying the ticket soon. And Sarah says, you always say that. And the final page of messages leaves off where Sarah said, you always say that. And Sarah further says, we talked about waiting until we had jobs lined up. Nita says, I can't live in limbo anymore. And so Sarah says, the time still isn't right. Taking Maggie away from Charlie, he's still a huge part of our lives. And Nita says, he won't be forever. That's kind of scary. And then Sarah says, okay, we're not talking about this anymore. I'll call you tomorrow. Take some time to cool off. The last piece of physical evidence that Michelle Gray had sent to us was this pawn receipt. That pawn receipt was for this class ring that I showed you earlier. In a previous box, we had received the pawn receipt where Charlie had initially pawned his class ring. And that's right here. So the pawn receipt that we received in this box shows that someone had bought the ring that Charlie had pawned in September of 1999. So the same year that he had pawned it to them in July. And what makes this so important is this tells us that Charlie never got his ring back from the pawn shop. That he pawned it and never picked it up. Someone else had purchased it after he never went and picked it up again. So as for the online evidence that we had to look at, the first was some voicemails that were all from the same unlisted number. And this is what it kind of looked like on our Deviant tracker. The final piece of online evidence, and the final piece of evidence in this case, is a Facebook post. Here's the Facebook post, and it's one of Robin's. It says, same old story, not much to say. Hearts are broken every day. Well, you guessed it. Those are some Jewel lyrics. It is a picture of Robin wearing a ring, and if you look closely, you will see that the ring is very familiar. The end of Gray's letter asked us to email her when we've made our conclusions, and don't worry, investigators. I did that for us. I got an email back from Michelle Gray, along with a transcript of an interview with Robin Dupree, and we were right, folks. It looks like, whoops, that's upside down. It looks like we were correct, you guys. Robin Dupree killed Charlie McDaniel because she was so obsessed with him over all these years, over her high school boyfriend. So in this transcript, she admits to killing Charlie. So there you have it, friends. Together we solved this case. We found out who killed Charlie McDaniel. And now that's the end of our adventures in Chestnut Falls, sadly. But who knows where the future may find us? Michelle Gray may need our help again. Do you think she'll need our help again? Well, subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell to find out. And if you enjoyed solving this mystifying murder with me, be sure to give this video a like. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.